Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Thursday night, December 19, 2024. I must apologize for the late post. I've been very busy. Please ensure that you guys like this video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. You all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you guys utilize the progress bar at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the video description but also in the comment section, that you can skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most. There's no reason for you guys to be sitting down and watching the entire 30 to 50 minute video when you can utilize these tools. Leave a comment down below letting me know what that's been like in your year recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so we're going to be looking at what the next 7 days look like in terms of what the Euro as well as the GFS supercomputer models are showing. As usual, we're going to be keeping our eyes focused on the timestamp right here at the top. We're just going to be going out to the next 168 hours. And we're going to be focusing our attention on the Caribbean right here, looking for all of this that we see on the key on the right. The yellows, the oranges, the reds, the greens that represents inches of rainfall. So let's see what's expected heading into Friday. We see definitely some isolated afternoon showers across maybe some inland areas, nothing too drastic. But we see more whites than anything else. Heading into Saturday, starting to get in some rainfall, especially across northern parishes. We see those greens that represent some isolated showers. Let's head into Sunday. What do we see? We see something similar to what was being shown on Saturday, but we see a lot more moisture to the south of Jamaica, to the southwestern Caribbean right there. Heading into Monday, even more moisture across the central to the southwestern Caribbean, south of Jamaica especially. We see a lot of that, and we see some rainfall across northeastern Jamaica too. Something similar on Tuesday, something similar on Wednesday, even more rainfall on Wednesday. As a matter of fact, look at the dark greens into the yellows across section of the island. That's Christmas Day. If that actually verifies, that would be crazy, like actually crazy. Let's see if we can get the other yeah, here we go. So we're gonna be stopping it right about here at the 168 hour mark. That's 12Z on Thursday, December 26. 12Z is actually 7 a.m. on Boxing Day. And what do we see? We see some rainfall across the Dominican Republic and Haiti's northern coastline, Puerto Rico, the Leeward Islands, the waters to the south of the island, and the western Caribbean. Let us see what the GFS is showing for the same time period. Alright, so heading into Friday, we see the rainfall to the south of Jamaica, to the across the waters of the southwestern Caribbean. We see the afternoon rainfall that's going to be plaguing section of the island for sure. 00 on Saturday is actually 7 p.m. on Friday. Very interesting forecast. Heading into Saturday, we see the rainfall especially across northern parishes for sure. Heading into Sunday, something similar but even more rainfall across the waters of the Caribbean. Some of this might even spill into portion of Jamaica. Look at Monday, even more rainfall even into Tuesday. Very interesting forecast. But we see that Wednesday, clearly both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus that there's going to be some amount of rainfall in and around the island of Jamaica on Wednesday for sure. Thursday, something similar. We're going to be stopping it right here at 18Z on Thursday. That's 1 p.m. And we see the rainfall across Hispaniola, across the Leeward Islands, across northern Jamaica, the waters to the south and to the west of us. So very similar in a sense to what the Euro was showing. The GFS is showing something very similar. And in terms of the accumulated precipitation forecast maps now, let us see what both of them are showing. Let me load it up. Where is it? Alright, this is what I'm looking for. So we're going on to the next 168 hours on the Euro, and not much change, something similar to what we showed yesterday. The most in the way for rainfall, as we know, is represented by the dark reds into the purples, the pinks, and the peach colors. And we can see most of that across the waters to the east of the Bahamas, across Hispaniola, across northeastern Jamaica, across the waters of the central to the southwestern Caribbean, including Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, getting in on some of the heavy rainfall. Even portions of Belize, northeastern Guatemala, and northern Honduras still gonna be getting in on some amount of rainfall for sure. Some of this rainfall could definitely trigger some amount of isolated flash flooding, and we see that even the GFS is showing something similar regarding these rainfall or these rainfall totals for sure. Either way, whatever happens, I'll definitely be here to keep you posted, especially across those other Caribbean islands. If we take a look at the accumulated precipitation close-up forecast for Jamaica, we aren't seeing much change. The most in the way of rainfall should be plaguing northeastern parishes, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, maybe spilling into sections of St. Thomas, Kingston, and St. Andrew. Very, very interesting forecast. I would say that both the Euro and the GFS models are adamant about this forecast. We also see a lot of colors to the south of us. Lots of rain expected for sure, and some of this could definitely spill into sections of the island. A very interesting next 7 days, all the way up to the Boxing Day, that's December 26th. We will definitely be here to keep you posted with whatever goes down. If we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for tonight, we can see some broken orange lines right here across the northern Bahamas associated with a trough, blue spike line associated with a frontal system attached to an area of low pressure, another frontal system right here, another area of low pressure right here. Very interesting. Definitely looks like it even has the potential to develop, but we won't even get into that. But we see a ridge of high pressure right here that we know is responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic, is it showing? Alright, it's showing right before the sun went down. It's very late, so I understand that we're not going to be seeing much, but we can definitely make out that low level flow right there before the sun went down, pushing from east to west, and we can make out the high cold cloud tops being sheared off towards the east, all courtesy of the upper level wind shear. We can make out the clouds associated with the trough right here pushing off to the east, the clouds associated with that frontal system attached to that area of low pressure, like what we highlighted right there. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Thursday, December 19, 2024. It was stated that isolated rainfall was in the forecast for parts of eastern, central, and western Jamaica on the afternoon of Thursday. And we know eastern Jamaica, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. Central parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex, like St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, and St. Catherine. While western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. And unfortunately, the satellite imagery that I usually use from weather.ndc.nasa.gov, that NASA visible close-up satellite image, it glitched out today. Didn't get a chance to post it at all. It glitched out at 19:21 UTC when calculated. That's about around 2:21 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. But this was what was taking place. I believe the clouds were starting to gather across eastern, central, and western parishes, maybe to build and make way for some isolated afternoon showers across those very areas, eastern, central, and western parishes. And we even saw that rainfall off to the east of the island too. But boy, we didn't get much after the image glitched out, and it's still glitched out even as we speak. But the weather nerds infrared satellite images as of the most recent, showing some very interesting things. We see some thunderstorms popping up right here off the coast of St. Elizabeth. Maybe some areas might have gone on some isolated shores, and we see the sparkling white dots as well as the high cold cloud tops being sheared off towards the east. So some isolated thundershower activities taking place there. You also see some brief isolated shores right here off to the east of the island. And if we take a look at the halfway tree cam, don't see much taking place. Definitely looking cloudy across the corporate area. We also see those clouds in the hills of St. Andrew right there. Some dark looking clouds. Who knows? Maybe we might have gotten in on some isolated shores. But as of that time, which is 4:11 p.m. across halfway through, definitely looking dry for sure. If we take a look at the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the CIMH, that's the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, this map paints the picture of where we had the rainfall today, especially to the east of us, to the south of us, to the north of us, as well as across inland areas of some central, eastern, and western parishes for sure. So just as predicted, it definitely happened according to this map, even although we didn't get the satellite images to confirm. I guess we definitely had what was predicted. And if we take a look at the very latest still image from the Weather Nerds website, let us see what's happening right now. Alright, so the latest image just came out at 3:45 UTC. And as you can see, we have some milky whitish clouds or colors that represent clouds to the southwest of us, to the north of us, across the eastern portion of the island. But that's mostly cirrus clouds being pushed out towards the east, all courtesy of the upper level wind shear. So let us match what we're seeing here to the latest Cuban Doppler radar images. Alright, so reloading these, that we have the very latest. The very latest imagery is about to load up. It's still reloading. Give it some time. The time is now around 10:55 p.m. So hopefully it shows us the 10:50. There we go. So the latest imagery is as of 10:50 p.m. and we can actually see the rainfall to the southwest of us. You see the greens into the yellows, represents moderado, even some fuerte in there, represents moderate to some slightly heavy rainfall. What we see here across northern Jamaica is ground clutter. That's not rainfall at all. If we take a look at the Guantanamo Bay Cuban naval radar imagery, we can make out some rainfall right there, some isolated shores to the north of Jamaica. Let's get these images into motion. We can also make out some rainfall right there to the southwest of the western peninsula of Haiti. And if we take a look at the Cayman radar, we can make out some rainfall to the south of Grand Cayman, to the southwest of Cayman Islands right there. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can see we have 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Kingston. And by about 4 a.m. on Friday, temperature should be down to about 23 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is valid for 18D on Friday. When calculated, that's about 1 p.m. on Friday. And we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some slight orange colors that represents up to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures. And we know the normal temperatures for the month of December across Jamaica are around 87 degrees Fahrenheit. And when 87 degrees Fahrenheit is calculated and turned to Celsius, that's about 30.6 degrees Celsius. So you should be receiving anywhere from 30 to 32 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on a Friday. And fortunately, we don't have anything out from my JPS Online's Twitter page stating that there's going to be any maintenance outages out for anywhere. So we're going to be having our fan or our AC to cool us down with the fact that we won't be losing electricity. Either way, we're going to be hot. So, we could still be hot. So we have to, follow the tips to beat the heat. It states here, when outside, seek shade. Try eating cold foods such as salads, fruits. Make sure you get enough sleep and rest if you're feeling tired. Take a cool shower or bath to help you cool down. And I cannot stress enough how important it is to always drink lots of water. Put away those sugary drinks. Drink water instead. If we take a look at the dry air map, we know the dry air is represented by the yellows, the oranges, and the reds, and the whites within those rays, like what we see on the key on the bottom. And we see a lot of dry air close to Africa right there, across the main development region, across the waters to the north of the eastern Caribbean, across the northern Caribbean into the Gulf of Mexico, as well as the east coast of the United States. And we see a lot of moist air across the southeastern Caribbean, majority of the Caribbean in general, from east to west for sure. And regarding the moist air, we know we can get a lot more rainfall in those areas than in areas that we have a lot of dry air. Excuse me. If we take a look at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Friday, we see the Saharan dust right here represented by the brown color stretching all the way across the main development region into portion of northeastern South America. And we see a vigorous plume right here, and it's definitely pushing from east to west. Yesterday it was much closer to Africa, and we know the dark browns represent the vigorous plumes. The vigorous plumes, as we know, can cause very hazy skies, not to mention trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses in some person. Our only hope is that by the time it gets to the Caribbean, it has dwindled down to more of these light shades of browns that we won't even notice the Saharan dust at all. If we take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can see the light shades of blues to dark shades of blues across the western to the central Caribbean that we know represents anywhere from 0.5 meter wave height all the way up to 1.5 meter wave height. And we see the high wave heights across the waters to the east of the Caribbean and to the north of the eastern Caribbean. We know those purples and to the pinks represent what 2 or so meter wave heights, 2.3 right there to the northeast of the Dominican Republic. To the north of Jamaica, 0.5 of a meter wave height. To the south, that's 0.8 of a meter wave height. And if we take a look at the winds that are expected, we see the winds coming in from the east across the eastern to the central Caribbean. We see it curving southwestward into the southwestern Caribbean. We see more of a northeasterly flow across the western Caribbean for sure. And that's the reason why the winds are, well, the waves are like that. You see the bright green, so we're talking about anywhere from 10 all the way up to 20 knot winds. So that explains the waves that are expected. Regarding the close-up of Jamaica, we see the winds that are expected. We see more of a northerly flow right there, more of a northeasterly flow towards southeast. Very interesting flow. Either way, we see all the air is going to be piling up right here across inland areas of some maybe western, central, and eastern parishes, and some of this could definitely push southward. So maybe that's where we're going to be having that daytime heating rainfall, some diurnal convection pushing all of that off towards the south. And with the upper level winds coming in from the southwest, we still can expect some of those thunderstorms to be sheared off towards the northeast, just like what we saw in this infrared satellite imagery. We can see the upper level clouds being pushed off towards the east northeast just when we had that burst of convection to the southwest of St. Elizabeth. So something similar might just happen on Friday. If we take a look at the rainfall forecast, didn't see much for the morning, but that doesn't mean it can't happen. We can have some rainfall across northern parishes for sure, especially with that flow from the north. We know we can get in on some relief rainfall, if not some cloud cover. But look at this. We see the blues represent rainfall across eastern, central, and southwestern parishes. That's on the Euro. GFS is a bit more robust with the rainfall forecast. Keep in mind that this is valid for around 3 p.m. A very interesting forecast. I live in St. Thomas and I see my ear shaded, so maybe I might just get on some of the rainfall. Section of Kingston, St. Andrews, St. Catherine, Klein, and Manchester, St. Elizabeth also shaded on the GFS. Very interesting forecast. We'll see exactly what unfolds tomorrow. The accumulated precipitation forecast maps aren't that robust to the rainfall totals at all though. Euro showing up to 0.14 of an inch of rainfall across central Jamaica, 0.16 of an inch of rainfall across southeast Jamaica. On the GFS, 0.12 of an inch of rainfall across central Jamaica, 0.2 of an inch of rainfall across southeast Jamaica. We'll see exactly what occurs. Either way, less rainfall during the month of December is usually expected. During December in Kingston, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the top, we usually receive up to 25 millimeters of rainfall. That's about 1 inch of rainfall. In Montego Bay, we usually receive up to at least close to 4 inches of rainfall. That's about 90 millimeters of rainfall. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives for the year, you can visit this website right here. That's weatherandclimate.com, and that website will show you what your parish usually receives. And you can use this nice little graphic right here that converts rainfall from inches to millimeters. We know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So we definitely have some thunderstorms plaguing portions of the Dominican Republic, Haiti, section of the Bahamas, section of Puerto Rico. We also see some rainfall affecting section of Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, section of Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia getting in on some of the action. So to Trinidad and Tobago, and we all predicted all of this yesterday in yesterday's video. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, showing some rainfall across southern Puerto Rico, the waters to the southwest and to the north of Puerto Rico. Section of Guadeloupe, Dominica getting nailed as we speak. And if we load these images from about 5:10 today, we can see some rainfall pushing from east to west across Puerto Rico to the north and to the south of there, affecting section of the Dominican Republic. Dominica is also getting some of the action. Not seeing much of anything on the Barbados radar. I guess it's glitched out for sure. Don't see this red thing spinning at all. These things happen. This is why we have to maintain these devices for sure. If we take a look at the wide of upload our images, we can see where the Barbados radar chipped back in and then it chipped back out. But we can see on the Trinidad radar some rainfall pushing in from the east, maybe affecting section of Trinidad as we speak, or more to come tonight. You can also see some rainfall right here to the east of Nicaragua. Some rainfall pushing from north to south across section of northern Guatemala, Belize, section of northwestern Honduras as well. And if we take a look at where the rainfall is expected in the next 24 hours, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Friday. And we can see that rainfall is definitely expected for section of the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, section of Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, section of Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and Grenadines, Grenada, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, sections of Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana, southern and western Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, eastern Nicaragua, northern Honduras, Guatemala's northern portions, as well as Belize, majority of Belize, and the eastern portion of the Yucatan Peninsula. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this forecast. I know that when they're in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching.